Action.
What is up, guys? We are now live. We have Daniel here. Tell us a little bit more about yourself, who you are, what you're doing here, and yeah, let's get right to it.
Well, my name is Cousin Jay, also known as I can't give up my government. Y'all can look that up yourself if you'd like. But I am a fashion designer. I DJ, a YouTuber, all over personality. I do many different things. But yeah, I'm a man of many talents.
Man of many talents.
Yes.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, man of many talents. Now, what would you say your main bread and butter is? Like, if someone were to know you for one thing, what would that be? Like, if I were to be like, who's Cousin Jay? Like, what would you want someone to say?
What people will say is definitely YouTuber,
Okay.
or they see a bunch of my clips on TikTok. But I'm definitely merging into the DJ space, so like that's
DJ.
a new thing for me.
That's huge. DJing.
Yes.
Dang, that's actually pretty cool. How'd you get into that? Like, seems pretty like, I don't know. I mean, like, were you always into music? Are you an artist?
I've always been into music. Definitely, I would look at DJing as a corny thing.
Yeah.
I definitely say that. But my friends, Xavier and Martin, like as we were filming during spring break, we were actually hanging around a lot of DJs and meeting a bunch of different creators. And I mean, it just meshes really well with the type of content that I make. I'm known for doing like party content and pranks and just having a good time. So that blends in a lot with the type of content that I make.
Right on. So you're saying spring break of this year, you actually just made a concept of being a DJ.
Exactly.
Wow, that's awesome. I think I was on your Instagram page the other day, and you like had like some whole club like turned up, and that just started here in March this year.
Yeah, it just spawns out of nowhere. It's like the most opportunity that I say I've ever had in my life. Like just gigs, just pop up, simply from the audience that I've garnered from like doing social media for the past 5-6 years.
Right.
Yeah.
Actually, speaking about that, I remember you used to do a lot of stuff with Nelk. I remember back in the days, I used to get on there and be like, who's Cousin Jay, right? And it's funny that, now you're here in this room.
Yeah.
But tell us about that, like that experience, being with the Nelk. I mean, that's, if you want to go into that.
Well, I say overall, I'm extremely grateful for the experiences that I've had with them, and I'm still to this day. Honestly, I didn't even know who Nelk was when I first bumped into them. My friend Salim, like he actually introduced me to them, like their content. Like when we went to LA, they reached out to him through DM, said like, let's collab. We were at a party, and that's where I met most of the connections that I bump into now to this day, is when I go out and party. And we just started collaborating with them and making content. And everything we did with them, it just went viral. Like it's just a mutual benefit every single time, just viral.
Right.
I don't know how it happens. It just naturally does.
Yeah. I mean, you guys are naturally funny. I mean, I know I watch some of that content. I'm pretty engaged into it. So I would say you guys are naturally funny.
Thank you, man.
Now, what stage are you in now? I mean, I know that you're talking about DJing, but as Cousin Jay as a brand as a whole, what's next? Are we going into like Steve Aoki, like going big, go home? Are we kind of nurturing different industries? Or
I say I'm tapping into different things and feeling it out just to see like what I enjoy. Like, you know what I'm saying? With filming, that's what being behind camera is what I'm mainly used to, but being in front of the camera is just something that just kind of happened naturally from being around Nelk and being in front of the camera. I didn't ask for it. It just kind of
Right. Yeah, it's funny because when I met you were like, I mean, I'm not usually the guy in front of the camera, but somehow, some way, here I am, right?
Exactly.
What's that experience been? I mean, mentally, kind of like, especially early on with, not being in front of the camera. Now you're full time in front of the camera, right?
Yeah.
What's that experience
for the most part,
like?
I'll say the experience for me, it's definitely overwhelming, and I see why a lot of people do drink when they go out and do the on-camera personality, because it's mentally draining. It's just like, I mean, if you're working at McDonald's, that could be draining.
Right.
If you're an engineer, that could be draining. Everything you do, it gets draining at some point.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, speaking about that, are you saying
Yes.
you don't drink or you do drink?
Oh, I'm actually sober full time.
Sober, so you don't smoke, you don't drink.
I'm the designated driver.
DD all the time.
DD all the time.
Wow, guys. And
Yeah.
and I heard you say something early on. It's draining, especially being sober. I mean, like you said, most of your
Sure.
connections come from partying and you're sober. So tell me that experience, right? Because I've been around places sober and it's a whole complete different experience
Sure.
than when you're drinking, you know? So you see things a lot differently than most people.
Yeah, I do. I'm a big people watcher. I like to sit back, observe.
Observe.
I'm naturally a very shy, mellow personality. And,
Right.
I feel like that translates pretty well on camera. But, you know, people look at me as like a super confident, which I'm definitely getting more confidence as I'm getting older.
Right.
You know, but I look at myself like internally as like a very shy person, you know.
Wow.
Me having a deep voice definitely, I think it can mask that a little bit, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about these creator personalities, these people, these influencers, and you match the word shy, it really actually doesn't correlate. Like, you don't ever think of someone that's on camera all the time to be shy. So, I mean, that's actually super vulnerable of you to say that you consider yourself shy, because when you look at your, you know, you seem like a very, like, to the moon person, like, you know, but
Thank you.
You would say you're to yourself for the most part.
1,000%. Like, I like being to myself, and I also like being around a lot of people, but then like don't bother me, but then do bother me, but then don't bother me. Like,
oh wow, a little indecisive. That's a funny way to put that. That's cool. That's cool. I guess we're getting to know a little bit about you as a person.
Yeah.
What would you say is one thing that most people wouldn't guess about you? You know?
I'm actually albino. I'm albino.
Albino. You're
I'm not
white?
actually. I'm not black. Yeah.
So like, wait a minute, guys. You're albino. Cousin Jay is albino.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm hearing this correct. Can you like elaborate? Because I mean, something's not one and one isn't connecting right now.
No, yeah. So what you're saying is like actually like an illusion. Like I'm AI. We'll just say that. We'll put it like that.
Oh wow. This changed. So this video, I got to put one of those tags. This is an AI generated video.
Yes, exactly.
This isn't real.
Yeah, I'm not human. Yeah.
Human albino. So you're not human. You're not black.
I'm actually nothing. Actually, like
you're nothing.
Yeah.
That's interesting, guys. So one thing that you guys didn't know about Cousin Jay is he actually is an AI generated
albino. Nothing.
Are you an industry plant? Is that kind of where you're going with this, or are you saying?
I'm an industry plant. I'm a bot.
He's a bot. All right, guys.
Yeah, Cousin Jay's a bot, guys.
Cousin Jay's a bot.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I guess now that we know that information, I don't even know if we can. Do they want to listen to the AI?
I don't even know. Like, I don't even know. But one thing, on a serious note, I love Mediterranean food.
Mediterranean. Okay, there we got. We got it. It took him a while to think about it, but we got it. All right.
I love Mediterranean. I love going to Venice Beach.
Venice
at
Beach.
The skate park. I love being around the beaches.
Beaches. Okay.
Being around the beaches. I live next to a beach. I love it.
Right. So it's funny you say you live next to a beach. I think you told me you're originally from Sacramento.
Yeah, Sacramento, California.
Capital state of California. If you didn't know, Sacramento is the capital of California. But most people don't know that because it's not.
They think it's the Bay Area. It's not the Bay Area.
Yeah,
it's 2 hours away.
Right. It's a little 2 hours. Most people think California, they think LA. But kind of tell me about that because I know you grew up in Sac. Content was really big down in LA for a while, and that's kind of like you said, you and Salim kind of went down there, started getting connected, but we've seen the industry shift, right? Because all the content creators aren't only in LA no more. There's a lot down here in Miami.
Yeah, everyone's migrating here.
Yeah.
For sure. This is like the new LA, I'd say. Like, yeah, so originally from California, Sacramento. I thought of making content probably 2017, 2018.
Okay.
And I wanted to do content and make clothes and take over Sacramento. Then after that, I wanted to take over LA. Then after that, I wanted to take over Miami. And then after Miami, I want to take over the whole world.
There we go.
And it feels like I'm like on the right track.
Yeah.
Taking over the world.
Right.
Day by day.
Day by day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking about that, you know, the content scene in LA, you got an early experience to experience that, right? Because you were there when it was blowing up, right?
Oh, it was on fire.
It was there was nothing like it, right? Everybody
Nothing.
had content houses, all the things were going on down there.
The Clout House, all
The Clout House, exactly. Now we're seeing a shift here in Miami, and I know you've been down in Miami a little bit, since people are migrating, but you're also very busy now with everything you're doing.
A lot of traveling.
What have you noticed between the LA kind of like early gap and explosion of creators to now the migration of creators here in Miami?
Yeah, if you don't have clout in LA and you're trying to do content, it's like kind of slow for you.
Right. Like nobody wants to collab.
You're not getting anywhere.
Right. Nobody. Yeah, I feel that.
Unless you know someone. That's when I always said before I got into like the entertainment industry is that it's about who you know, and that's just the way of life. If you don't know anyone, you're cooked.
Right.
And so you have to like kind of like make a name for yourself. You don't even have to be in front of the camera. You can be behind the camera and like be killing it just like the people in front of the camera.
Of course.
The people behind the scenes sometimes make more than the people in front.
For sure. And I think a big thing to say is there's got to be both aspects of it. There's got to be someone in front of the camera. There's got to be someone behind the camera. But one thing I want to hone in with what he said, guys, and I'm a big believer in this, you're always one connection away from changing your life, right?
Oh my God.
And that's, just one connection away from changing your life. And I love that you said that, right? Like networking is probably the biggest capital you can have as a person, right? Who you know. And so can you talk a little bit about how you were able to grow, especially as someone who's behind the camera? Now
I'm behind the camera right now. Look.
Yeah. He's actually our editor at the same time. So he does a great job. Tell us about that.
Well, being behind the camera, I feel like that's a great tool. It's a great conversation starter. With me being an introvert, that's why I wanted to start filming. That's like my bread and butter.
Right.
Being behind the camera, I know how to interact and talk to people. So like when I go out, just have a smile on my face. I'll just kind of be the same person I am off and on. I try my best to do that. It's a numbers game. I just go out, get people's numbers.
Numbers game. Numbers game. Remember that, guys. Numbers game.
I just feel like once you network, you just increase your network.
Yeah. That's the best way. You meet one person, they introduce you to another person, and then maybe you meet one person that someone saw you with, and now they know about you. So you're right. It is a numbers game. Getting, like you said, especially being sober and partying, it might have been a big part of like where you are today, because although you were sober, you still decided to go out there and be in these environments, maybe even when you didn't want to be, but you knew what would come from it.
1,000%. I understand why people drink. I'm not saying I never drunk before.
Okay.
But I have tried a White Claw before. I shotgunned a White Claw.
Whoa, you mean you haven't like drank White Claws, but so you're not a drinker. What's like?
No, the last time I like really drunk alcohol, like the time I took that shot, and it was in Texas on my first road trip.
Wow.
All the way from California to Florida.
Yeah.
I downed that and it felt really good. All my nerves went away.
It felt really good, guys. There we go.
My nerves went away. Yeah. And I was like, okay, it makes sense why people do this all the time.
Right. So now you understand.
Yeah. Liquid courage.
Liquid courage. Yeah. You're like, I feel that. Now speaking about your sober, can you speak a little bit about that? I know some people are either sober based off childhood experiences, maybe never really dabbled into it, maybe for religious beliefs. Can you tell us and explain kind of why you decided to go sober? And I respect that as a whole, because ultimately sober is a way of living,
I agree. Well, for me personally, being sober, definitely, because my family, it ruined a lot of my family. Won't get too deep into it.
Okay.
But family is like a very big reason why
you don't drink.
I shy away from that.
Right.
Like,
of course. That's huge. Those experiences sometimes, and being sober is probably the best for all of us, but some of us decide, but it's not also bad to drink, so you got to have a happy medium.
It's a great social thing to do. People drink when they go to restaurants, people drink like everywhere. Even smoking is a good, like.
Right. Antidepressant. Exactly. They call it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. That's awesome. Do
you drink yourself?
So I'm not a big drinker, but I'm a social drinker. So when I go out to like networking events, if I'm at a restaurant, it just depends on the day. I definitely don't drink and drive, and most of the time I'm driving.
Oh,
so
definitely can't do that.
So I don't drink now because I'm most of the time driving, but I do socially drink. Yes.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean
that's lit.
Yeah, it's lit. Cool. I mean, so we got to know a little bit about Cousin Jay today. Is there anything you want to? We got any next topics? If there is any.
Oh, I love running.
And
we actually met at a running club in Miami.
Yo, that's actually crazy, yo. I mean, like I said again, you're one connection away from changing your life. But
exactly,
to talk about how we met, you were just at a run club. I was at a run club. Mm-hmm. I had recognized you, and he actually was joking with me. He was like, "Yo, it's Tory Lanez," and I was like, "Oh, this guy thinks he's funny." So we connected.
Get that all the time.
Yeah, I do get that a lot, right? But it's funny how our relationship has actually grown just from that one run club, right?
1,000%. I've actually met a lot of people there that I still talk to this day.
Right.
And I've been to 3 running clubs.
Okay.
Yeah.
At different locations or?
No, in Miami. I wish I could do more, but traveling so much lately that it's like nearly impossible, it feels like.
Well, you're here now. There's a run club.
Technical difficulties.
1 second, guys.
My bad.
Yeah.
My bad, y'all.
Just because he's behind the camera doesn't mean he knows. I'm just kidding. There's actually a run club tomorrow. So, I mean. Tuesday. And tomorrow is Tuesday. So, I mean, is that something that you're going to do, or do you have like already kind of some plans or?
So, I'm moving all my stuff from my U-Haul.
Yeah.
The storage unit actually right across the street from here.
Right.
It's my new spot, and if I have time, yes, I will do it.
Okay, yeah. I mean, that's good. We'd love to see you out there. Maybe you never. Actually, speaking, I just thought about a run club thing. I met somebody last week that you know very well. And I'm not going to say it on camera. But we'll talk offline, right? Yeah,
that's fine.
We'll talk offline.
Hey, we'll say it's a small world.
It's a small world, right?
Yeah.
And he's also a creator.
Sure.
So I mean, we'll go kind of into that later, but yeah, he loves running, and that's actually how we met. And so, can you tell me a little bit about, other than partying, what things have you done to network and grow your network as a person, as a creator?
Well, I mean, definitely when you post consistently on like any platform that you have an audience on or you're trying to grow, I think that just speaks volumes enough as it is. Like, if
of course
people tap in when you're doing stuff.
Yeah. When
you're not doing anything and you're just sitting down,
knows. Yeah.
No one's gonna know.
Right.
And I noticed that, like early on when my friend Slim and we would film content, because I would be behind the scenes all the time and I'll just be filming it.
Yeah.
And every time we posted a video, whether it be like today or 4 days from now, everyone just seemed to be like, yo, what's going on? Like right after the video is posted. It's so interesting how it works.
Yeah, I mean, I think we actually have spoken about this a little bit about, especially when we used to run, is you got to push your stuff out there. Like, nobody knows what they don't know. So, I mean,
exactly.
You would say consistency has been that thing for you, is consistently being at parties, being outside, going to these networking events, going to these run clubs, and positioning yourself. Like, positioning has been a big aspect of growing who you are as a person today.
1,000%.
I love that.
And then also, I think being willing to like say yes to like not everything, but most things.
Right.
Especially if you feel like it doesn't go against like what you believe in, what you stand on.
Right. Technical error.
Technical difficulties, but.
Go ahead. So you're saying, because that's actually a great question, because some people, especially when they're talking about being efficient, you got to say no to a lot of things.
You have to. But
on the other spectrum, you're saying you got to say yes to a lot of things.
Yeah, when you're starting off doing something, I think you have to say yes to a lot of things.
Yeah.
I think so.
I think that also goes back into positioning. The more you're around, the more things you say yes to, the more you're exposed to.
Yes,
right.
It's like a learning thing. It's definitely, it'll help you learn a lot. Like even, like I said, yes, with me venturing off and doing like DJing.
Yeah.
Like and trying that out. Like the first gigs I took, they're way below whatever.
Which you
I know that I'm worth.
Right, of course.
You know what I'm saying? But in order to get experience, like,
opened up some more opportunities for you.
It definitely opened up way more opportunities for me. And I'm extremely grateful for it because it's something that I never would expect myself to do.
Yeah, it's actually funny because when I met Cousin Jay at that run club, he was a creator, he was making content, but he was not a DJ. And over the course of a couple months, we had spoken and we're talking, and then one day he's like, "I'm a DJ," and right away we were kind of talking about it, like you actually didn't know if it was something that you were going to venture into full time or something that you even were going to do, right? And now to see you, I think it's been 3-4 months after. You're like everywhere with this DJ stuff.
No, yeah. I just got back from University of Michigan, DJing there. Before that, I was in North Carolina. Before that, I was in South Carolina DJing. Before that, I was probably in, I want to say Alaska. No, I'm trolling. But
Alaska, yo, that's far. I'm like, yo, he's all over the place, man.
Oh, Kentucky. I went to Pennsylvania. I got 3 shows, like, 3 days from now.
Okay. Dang, 3. You're booked 3 shows.
3 shows in New York.
New York.
And then I have a show in California.
Cali.
I'm actually going to go see my mom. I haven't seen her in such a long time.
Sacktown, coming home.
Yes, sir. It's just back to back to back to back. Like, and I like it, like, because I'm actually getting the hang of it. And like,
right. You're learning as you're growing experience, and that's awesome, actually. So
exactly. By saying yes to things, I'm learning as I go, and I like it. If I didn't say yes to it, then I definitely wouldn't be motivated to want to do more.
Right.
And like,
of course,
that's how my brain works.
Right. Now, this is a great question as far as especially DJing. Now, where does that come to? Like, you know, you said yes to maybe a rate that you didn't think it was what you were worth, but you did it anyway. Right. Now at the point where you're at, and as you continue to grow, where does that line become like, yes, I'm still a growing DJ, but I believe I'm worth this. But you're still open to as many opportunities as possible, right? You're not saying no to things.
I'm not going to say completely no to everything. I mean, some things it's worth like going out your way and like just to build a relationship.
Build a relationship, right? Yeah.
And show your value. But other times it might be better to say no because you might have something else.
Right.
Plan that day, or even you just have something else in mind.
Right, or saying no actually equates to the value that you perceive, right? By telling someone no, they can, oh, no, he's for real about what he's worth, right? So I love that. You got to be able to say yes. You got to be able to say no. That was a great thing for you guys, because I think a lot of us juggle with that, saying yes and saying no. Sometimes we say yes to things we should say no to. Sometimes we just say no to things that we should say yes to.
Wow.
So.
Yeah, real shit.
Yeah, it's real. Now, what I'm thinking now is that transition from behind the camera to now in front of the camera. You're pretty much full-time in front of the camera. You're no longer...
For the most part, yeah.
For the most part, right? Other than now, you're kind of doing both. You're like behind the camera, in front of the camera. This, you can see him messing around with it.
Yeah, this is actually dope, bro.
Yeah, it's actually... And just so you guys know, we didn't plan any of this. We're actually just kind of like flowing, like,
this is improv right here.
Improv.
This is improv.
And I'm actually impressed. We're able to actually go back and forth real well. And yeah, speaking towards that, right? Like that transition to now, we just improv'd all this, right?
Yeah.
You're in front of the camera now. You're actually really
I'm
well
both.
at.
I'm hybrid.
You're okay. You're doing a little bit of both. But tell me about that transition, gaining some of that confidence, getting on in front of the camera, and some of the challenges and some of the things that you faced with the transition.
Some of the things that I faced with the transition, definitely like when I first got into the limelight, like I'm saying, like a lot of eyes on my platform and gaining a massive following at once. I'll say definitely internally that could like do something to your head where you're like, yo, what's going on?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
right. That's a big thing.
What is going on? Because you have reality and then you have virtual reality, and both of those things are not the same, but they also play a part into your success. So it's like you're constantly battling like what's real and what's not. So that
right, like that imposter syndrome to also like believing the person you were behind to becoming who you were. Is that kind of what you're saying, or what?
Exactly. Like you're dealing with people judging you, like such as your friends from back home. You know, just because you're posting a location that you're in Los Angeles or Miami, that means that you made it.
Right.
You forgot about me, type of thing.
Right.
There's like, you're dealing with judgment. You're dealing with even some people, they like flexing like everything that they're doing.
Right.
And some people's lifestyle is a flex itself.
Yeah.
Like they're not even flexing.
We're at the King of Miami. We're in Miami, so
it could appear that way. You know?
Oh, I see. So you're saying that some people are just living life, not really flexing, but people could perceive them as a flex.
Yes.
And hating on that aspect of things.
Like I even have some friends that are experiencing what I experienced early on. Like, so like just from you being associated with a company, a group of people, that can make you look like you support things that you don't even support.
Right.
Or things that you do support. How do I put it? It's like, say for example, Nelk, who I'm associated with, is
of course
Republican. Like they support the Republican Party.
Right.
I don't have any political standpoint.
Yeah.
And I've experienced people like with, say, relationships with girls, like they'll completely just drop me because of who I'm associated with.
Right.
Supports, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I find that so interesting, like that. It's very polarizing just from, you pretty much are who you hang around.
That's a great segment.
No matter what.
Because that's actually like we are associated with who we're around, and not only who we're around, or where we're around, our environment.
Exactly.
But you're saying it's almost been conflicting because although you're around these group, they're your boys, you know, you might not agree with everything that they agree with, but now because you're within that circle, you're pictured as that belief or disbelief.
Exactly. So, for example, a great point. If I go out and I'm DJing or I'm just at a party, someone's like, yo, take a shot. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool. Like, you drink. I know you do. Right. All my friends drink, yes.
Yeah,
but,
right. Like that full send, like.
Yeah. But I don't drink. You know what I'm saying?
So, I mean, that's true. Like, right? Or like you're associated with like a weed brand. Someone's like, hit this joint.
Yeah.
All your boys are smoking, and you're like the one person out the circle.
Yeah.
They're like, you're being weird, or now they're like kind of like perceiving you a certain way because everybody's around, everybody you're associated with does it, but because you don't do it, now you're getting a perception of X, Y, and Z.
And so perception is reality. That's what you've come to realize when you're doing content, social media. Like, say, for example, another example, perfect. You post videos of like Hot Wheels.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Where's this going?
Now I sound like I'm high right now. Now I can see that perception. Okay. No, but like, what I'm trying to say
I'm glad you thought about that, because I don't know what was about to come out, but...
No, but... It's hard, man. It's so hard.
You gotta spit it out, man.
Okay. I'm cooked.
Yeah.
So...
What are you thinking, Mal? I think we all want to hear. What's he thinking? He's laughing pretty hard, like.
All right, so if I post sneakers all the time,
right.
If I post sneakers all the time, you're gonna think of me as a sneakerhead. But then if I post pictures of plants tomorrow, now that doesn't like align with what you know me as.
Right.
So. I'm trying to make a point here.
Yeah, I kind of see where you're going. We keep going.
I'm sorry.
Okay, because it's a hard concept to put into reality, but I feel you, right? Just based off the conversation we're having. Tell me if I'm correct. What you're saying is, hypothetically, if you post sneakers every day, that one day you post a plant, is it and this is where you kind of got confused, because I got confused just now too.
Sure.
Are you saying that people are like, why is he posting a plant? Like, there's no way he likes plants. Is that where you're heading with this, or not at all?
Yeah,
or
like kind of in a sense, like pretty much. It's a tough one, but like pretty much, I'm trying to relate to the fact that perception is reality.
Right.
So, you post prank videos, you're a prankster. You're a music artist, and you try doing stand-up comedy. People aren't gonna like see you for what you're trying to be or what you're on. You know what I'm saying?
I see that. That makes sense. I think you guys understand what he's trying to say now. If you're a football athlete,
yes,
and then you step on the basketball court, people are going to be conflicted with that.
No, you play football. You shouldn't be playing basketball.
Right.
Yeah.
Or if you're a football athlete and then all of a sudden you're a rapper.
Yeah.
The association of like,
Exactly.
you stick to your sport, stick to your thing.
Perfect example. Like someone who I used to look up to a lot, and I respect their music and their craft and what they do. DDG. He was known as a YouTuber.
Yeah.
But the whole time he wanted to make music and become an artist. So he leveraged social media to pretty much become what many people know him today.
Right.
Which is a music rapper.
Right.
He wants to be known as a rapper. And it's so hard. It was so hard for him to navigate that and finesse the industry into showing what he knows that he is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? An artist.
I'm going to say DDG did a good job at that because I honestly didn't know he was a YouTuber before. I personally
That's what he wanted.
Have only known him as an artist. So for someone who was early on to kind of be there when he was making YouTube videos, that's actually DDG. Good job. But I see what you're saying now. Like he's one of those rare cases that made it out that way.
Yeah, many people cannot do that.
That's good job, DDG.
Yeah, great job, DDG. Great job. Seriously, that is so hard to do.
Yeah, because you're right. I mean, a D1 basketball player isn't going to get drafted into the NFL.
Oh no,
it's just not. No matter how good he is at football, right? Like,
no.
I think that's the point you're making.
Exactly.
Right. So, yeah, I mean that's awesome. I mean this has been a while. It's been all improvised. Is there anything you want to say to the people just before we wrap up?
I mean, I have a couple things I can say. A lot of people come up to me in person. They're always like, "What's one thing you would do if you were me?" Like this is like, say I'm out, just anywhere.
Yeah, maybe at the run club, maybe you're at the mall,
at the grocery store.
Yeah.
Like, you have any advice for me? Some advice I would say to you. I mean, it seems like a lot of people that ask me that want to do content.
Right.
So I'll say, start. And
get started. Yeah.
If you don't start, similar to say me with DJing, if you know you're interested in something, try it, start it. If you have an opportunity to get involved in it, do it. And if you fail, fuck it, you failed.
Yo, guys, wow, that's some sauce. Like, I think pretty much success loves speed, and so if you don't start, there's no motion, right? Like,
no motion.
You have to take the step forward.
And slow motion is better than no motion.
Slow motion is better than no motion.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a quote. Write that down, Cousin Jay. But sometimes I think for most people, to your point, they feel like that first step might look like a leap over dry land. You know, can you give us some advice for some people who want to start taking some steps, but in their mind they're making it a jump across a bridge with no bridge?
Just do it.
Just do it, right?
Nike.
Like,
that's why Nike was made.
Right. Just do it. Yeah.
That's really is. That's all it is. I mean, okay, you want to get your license to drive.
How are you gonna
study, and then go.
Right, but
just go do it.
But what's a great part to this is no matter how much you study, if you don't get in the car and actually practice driving, you won't know how to drive. And I love that you're saying that. You can think of all these ideas, you can have all these passions, but if you don't get in that car and hit that gas pedal, you'll never learn how to drive. And let's say you hit that gas pedal and you hit something. Now you know the next time what to avoid. So that's a great way to put it.
I mean, I want to get into real estate next.
All right, okay.
I have no idea how to do that.
Yeah.
But what am I doing? And you see, I'm texting you. I'm like, yo, do you know anything about real estate? I'm hitting everyone up. So that's what I like to do. I like to put myself out there. Anything that I want to do, that's actually what I do. I tell everybody that's what I'm doing. So before I even picked up on the DJing, I'm like, yo, I'm just testing people out. I'm like, yo, I DJ. You know, they're like, what do you do? I DJ.
Yeah.
Even though I have no idea how to DJ, when I first started.
Right.
I'm just telling people I do
DJ.
it.
Yeah.
Before I started
actually getting into projects.
Getting into projects with DJing, that's what I do. And then even a long time ago, before I started filming, I film.
I
see. What I'm saying? And I wanted to learn how to be a barber at one point before. I mean, I didn't do that because I just didn't do that. I mean, I just like anything creative, hands-on. I think it's cool.
Right.
Cool.
I'm actually going to say I am a witness to that. When I met him, all of a sudden one day he's like, I'm a DJ. I remember, like I just told you guys, he went from one day he never DJed to like, I'm a DJ. And today as we speak, he's a full-time DJ. He's doing projects all over the country. And then a few months ago, you actually called me. He's talking about this $2 million real estate deal. You know, and I remember this. He's like, I'm like, yo, you're in real estate now. He's like, I'm looking to investments and property, you know.
Yeah, even if you have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah. I remember this. This is a fact. I do remember him calling me about a real estate deal, and actually kind of speak towards that. Like, it sounds like you're a never-ending learner. You're a you're a person that never says never, actually.
Yeah.
That sounds like that, because for someone to be like, I'm gonna be a DJ, be a full-time DJ, go around the country in 2 months and do a whole bunch of projects. If I spoke to you in 2 months, you probably would have been, I'll do it. But like, you actually made it into a reality, and it's crazy.
It's crazy, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I do think it's crazy too, and it's actually inspired me in some of the projects that I do.
Thank you.
Is the whole I am statement, right? I mean, you gotta say it before it is to make it happen, right? And I think we hear that a lot from some of the biggest motivational and successful people. You gotta really believe it. You gotta see it before it actually becomes into
before you can achieve it.
Before you achieve it, right?
I'm a firm believer in that. Seriously.
Yeah.
Literally, oh my goodness, like almost all my dreams have came to a reality. Seriously, I started dreaming when I was like 13, 14.
Right.
And then 16, 17. Once I got the money from like selling candy to start getting into clothing and all that.
Right.
Like, I said I wanted to start traveling by the age of 25. I started doing that at age 19.
19.
And I'm 24 now.
Right. Coming up on 25.
And
let's go.
I said, oh my goodness. Yeah.
It seems like everything, right? Like,
no,
literally, I am a testimony for him. Called me a couple months ago. He was a DJ, and now we're gonna manifest this property, this $2 million property he's gonna own here soon.
Let's do it.
So I mean, I love that you said that. Now, for someone who can't find the confidence to believe, and I know you're a big activist and just do, right? Like just do it, just start. You've said that to the people already, but for someone who hasn't had the wins to believe in themselves, or hasn't had the confidence, but has the hope that it can happen, just doesn't have the confidence to match the hope. What would you say to that person today?
I say, just do it.
Just do it. He's doubling down, yo.
No, but if you don't just do it, 50 Cent was I looked up to him a lot too, seeing like get rich or die trying.
Yeah.
Like that whole phrase, that whole saying is like literally how you should live life.
Right, get rich or die trying.
And I relate, that's relates to Nike, just do it.
Yeah.
Everything just comes full circle. It's
right.
a matter of doing.
I think what he's saying too is that if we look at the most successful people or the people who are winning, they have patterns of one, being able to move, being able to act. I mean, action's the biggest thing, right? And so that's something that you live by, and that's how you've seen success in your own life, is by implementing right away, not just thinking, not just being a creative up here.
Anytime I get an idea, I'm like, literally, as soon as possible, I have to do it now. I have to do it now.
Wow.
Like, as soon as I was like, I want to do it, kind of, I just went to Guitar Center and I bought a board, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A little cheap little some.
You went up there, made an email, DJ, Cousin J, like that was right away for you, right?
Yeah.
That was instant. That was even before you had proof and concept, right? You were already taking open bookings, like before you
book me now.
Book me now. And I actually remember you saying, like, I'm learning how to use the keyboard. I got a project tomorrow or something like that.
It was so scary.
Yo, the dude hits me up. He's like, I don't know how to use this thing, but I'm playing it in Fort Lauderdale, one of the nicest actual bars down there. And you're learning how to use the board like the day before you actually go. I mean, dude, that takes man, that takes a lot of confidence and just risk, ability to take risk as well.
It's about failing forward.
Failing forward, wow, yeah. Now, what are some things you're currently failing forward towards?
What are some things that you're currently failing forward towards?
Right, like you said, failing forward. I mean, we talked about a bunch of things you're working on now, but maybe even, I mean, we can mind, body, spirit thing. Like we can look at it as a whole on a holistic level for Cousin Jay.
I mean, diet. I need to get my diet right.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get my diet
right. I mean, you travel a lot. How do you maintain eating healthy,
You gotta
eating the
probably
right
pack
things.
a lunch to go.
Man,
Probably that's
yeah.
probably next.
But you haven't quite figured it out.
No, I need it. I'm failing forward towards trying to get my schedule right. But then when things spawn and just pop up out of nowhere,
Yeah.
like how am I supposed to do that?
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
right. So you're in that process of figuring it out as you go because a schedule is important, but what you're noticing is at
Yeah.
the same time it's not important because it could define, like let's say you have a schedule. I mean, it's you know, because the schedule is very important,
Yeah.
right? But at the same time, you want to be open to opportunities to input in the schedule.
And that's where that saying yes to everything could also become a problem for you too.
Right.
Anything that is good for you could be a problem for you
As well.
down the line or currently.
Yeah.
Just because if something's working right now doesn't mean it's going to work forever.
Wow.
Just because I'm drinking like every single day now doesn't mean that it's going to work forever. Things
Right.
add up, you know.
Right. Yeah. Things add up.
Your body, like I'm noticing as I'm getting older, like health is so important. Like
Yeah.
what you're eating,
Yeah.
what you're drinking.
Right.
I don't drink enough water.
Right. Yeah.
I need to drink more water. I'm so
Yeah.
dehydrated. I'm so cooked.
I mean, AI. Do you need water as an AI?
When you're not a human, you don't need it. So like, everything I'm saying is a lie.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah. That's why his answers were so good. They're all like so generated from
Yes.
the computer in his brain.
I'm, Chat GPT.
ChatGPT.
Yeah, that's me.
Actually, speaking about the computer in your brain, I want to know. I mean, how did you do in school? I mean, I don't know if you went to college or not, but how were your grades in school? How
I did
were you?
amazing. I think I had like a 3.5, 3.75.
Okay, so you good, pretty decent grades in school,
Not bad.
academically. Now on the behavioral end, I know you're, like you said, you might be introverted or shy, but you
Yeah.
have a very outside personality. I'd say
Yeah.
How are you behaving in school? Like,
I would just be drawing. Like, I have not medically ADHD, but definitely
yeah,
my brain can't just stay on like one thing.
it's called
at
the
a time.
creator brain. Yeah, you're a creator.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's so hard for me to just focus on one thing,
Right.
which is a good thing.
Yeah.
But then it's a bad thing. But if it's a bad thing, I think there's a way to delegate it. And the way to delegate it is you get an assistant.
Yeah.
And if you have an assistant, then they could
Kind of help you manage
you.
those different things.
and you can have a manager that could also help you as well too.
Right.
Have delegated things to assign different things to different people if you're lucky enough to get in that position
Right.
to make your life easier if you have a sporadic brain like myself.
Right.
And that's
right.
what I'm working on.
Wow, that's actually amazing that you say that word delegation. I think to do anything at scale, you have to learn how to delegate because you can't handle everything at once. And we actually spoke about it earlier today, kind of the implementations that you're doing with your current team to delegate some certain tasks and remove pressure off yourself and some of your team members. Can you talk about, on a creator aspect, especially for some of the people who want to become creators,
Yeah.
at what point do you start outsourcing some work to somewhere else? At what point do you then pay people to come on the team to because it's a big thing, especially as a creator.
Yes.
Income is very sporadic. Sometimes you're making money, sometimes you're not.
Most creators are broke.
Right, and that's a stat that we're actually starting to see nowadays. Right, the creator space is attention's the greatest asset, but it's not directly correlated to dollars right now.
It's not.
Right. So can you tell me a little bit about how you've been able to delegate and when, and as an aspiring creator, kind of get into that if you yeah.
I mean, for me personally, say for doing YouTube, I definitely try to, as soon as possible, say someone's interning,
Right.
like my boy Martin. Oh,
Right.
I love that guy. That
Yeah,
guy's
Martin,
a
cool
beast.
guy. Yeah, you guys, yeah.
He told me, I'll work for free for you. I just want to show you my value, prove
Right.
to me that I'm great.
Right.
And after 2 videos, I started paying him because he proved it right there on the spot.
Right.
And that was when I barely had any money. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's such a very delicate thing because when you're dealing with friends and you're dealing with business, that's a tricky thing.
Very
'Cause
tricky.
You could
Yeah.
finesse the fuck out of your friend because they're your friend, and then you could value someone who's a stranger and pay them more than somebody who's your friend. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And
Getting
there's-
deep here now.
You know what I'm saying?
Dang.
And you can, it's such an interesting thing.
It is interesting. And I actually want to hone in on something that he said. And I actually want to ask you guys, I don't know how to answer this question, but there's a fine line between your friend who, maybe you guys didn't initially have a business transactional relationship,
right,
but now they're helping you out with something on a transactional level, whether it's money or not.
Sure.
But at the same time, whether they're doing it for free or they're doing it for a low cost, compared to then where you meet a complete stranger who they value their work at this, and sometimes that's an easier transaction than actually paying your friend for something that they were doing already at a low cost or for free, right? So kind of tell me that,
it's like an ethical thing.
It's
like,
it's
like, because you can ethically say like, I'm doing this for you. Like say you're housing someone that is working for you.
Right.
Say with editing.
Right.
You could feel as if like I'm housing you so I don't have to pay you anything.
Yeah, which is it's like you said, a fair transaction, but
or you could be like, I'm housing you and I do think it's fair to still pay you, but maybe not as much or maybe more. Like
right.
It's situational. You can also, if say you're dealing with your friends, like some people could be like, yo, because you're my friend, I'm mad at you, so I don't have to pay you. You know what I'm saying? That could be a thing as well.
When it gets into like personal disputes.
That doesn't mean that's necessarily right, but that can be something that happens.
Right. Yeah, I mean, and
I hear stories about that.
Right. And in the business world, there's a famous saying, don't mix family and friend, or business and family, friends and business. Like there's somewhere in that aspect, but in the creator space, it becomes so much different than the business aspect of things, because as a creator, you are a business, but most of the time you want to be creating with your friends, right?
1,000%. It's more comfortable.
Right.
And then even if someone's not your friend, over time you become friendly,
right,
which then you become friends.
Right. So there's no way to really dictate.
So you can't really go away from that.
Right.
Unless you just completely just distance yourself
emotionally,
from everyone.
Right. And then that becomes more of like a cold heart for you. Like you turn into someone that maybe you didn't want to be, or because at some point you have to make choices, right? Because I mean, especially in business, emotion and logic, there's so many, they don't integrate, but they do integrate so well.
Yes, it does. And you have to work smarter, not harder. And that's why oftentimes you see like in movies or even real life in business, like when new management comes, certain people get dropped off.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because there's more money that has to go to different parties.
Right. Exactly.
That's and then that can get in between your friendship. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, this is true. I mean, because even let's talk about this at scale. You have a boy that's doing work for free, or maybe you're paying him at low, or maybe you guys started doing this together.
Sure.
But now you're at the point where you're looking to scale. You're looking to do this full time, or you have an opportunity that requires you to get more professional work, right?
Yeah.
Now, like you said, where does that line come between now, like sticking with the person you're with currently, and them maybe not being able to help you to where you need to go, and making that choice of saying, all right, now we have to invest or establish new relationships for the same position?
I think it comes down to communication. And if you can communicate, like say you need to drop someone off and be like, you could possibly come back.
Yeah.
Or work on like a different project with them, or even like toss them to another company. Like
Right.
If you're going to have to drop someone off, definitely try to give them, like put them in position to be able to outgrow you and not end up being broke.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's a huge thing. Putting your friends in positions.
I always try to do that.
Yeah. That's something that you talk very highly on now. And some people could and bring that. This is actually a great question, because some people almost feel entitled to that, right? Like, where does that come from? Because you're a person who naturally is always looking to help your friends grow.
Oh, yeah.
But in some situations, people's friends feel like they're entitled to that help. And
oh my goodness.
They're not always entitled to getting put on to something, right? So can you talk about entitlement when it comes into that?
Oh, entitlement in the entertainment. I mean, specifically entertainment, because that's what I'm a part of. I can't speak on
different
other industries. But entitlement's a real thing. Like, say, oops, technical difficulties.
Shit.
My bad, guys.
Yeah. He's learning. Yeah.
Entitlement's a real thing. Like, say I post you.
Yeah.
And I tag you like all the time, but then I don't post one of my other friends,
right,
as much as you.
Right.
That could make
you,
or that can make anyone feel entitled. Like,
for sure. Like, why? Like
why are you not posting me?
Taking it personal, kind of.
Like, I've seen that in this industry where people get like butthurt because this person's getting like flown out to go here. Which you never take me out. We're friends. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Right. I mean, that's huge. Now, what would you say? I mean, I guess it's a never-ending question. And
sure.
How do you manage entitlement? I mean, it's not really your responsibility.
There's nothing you can do about it. But once you see like people like being like really, really, if someone's being a cancer to what you're
what you're building,
what you're building,
ecosystem,
you gotta cut that off as soon as possible.
Right. Of course.
So it's bad, and if you don't want to cut it off, say they're friendly with you, then you gotta definitely communicate that with them. I believe in second chances, maybe third chances.
Yeah.
But fourth,
absolutely. Yeah. Now you're talking about patterns, and once you see a pattern, you definitely 1, 2, 3. But the fourth time, I definitely agree. There's some people who say it's a one and done thing too. You know?
No, some people are cold like that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's especially when you're a really big company. You really can't. You
have
no room for error.
Right. Because your brand is simply affected by every actions that you and your team makes.
1,000%.
So any actions can go there. I mean, that's great. I mean, I think you've given us a lot of insight on actually the background of the creators world. Now let's talk about income, right? Like you talked about it earlier. Most creators are broke.
1,000%.
And it's almost like a weird question. It is sad because like we live in an economy where the attention is the biggest asset right now to businesses and consumers, right?
Yeah.
Like how can I get your attention, right? And these creators who might have a ton of attention online might not be able to monetize that. Now that's a huge issue in the industry. Can you kind of speak on that as far as like just your thoughts on it?
You can have 2 million followers and still be broke.
Yeah, which is crazy. Yeah. I mean, I think Drake has a song, More Followers Than Dollars. I don't know if you've heard that,
yeah,
but
I heard something like that.
Something like that. I'm not too sure the exact quote, but
you could have 200 followers and be up financially.
Yeah. So can you
followers don't mean anything
on a monetary level. Yeah, which is huge.
As far as you go to different events and you see people in person, that initial reaction of, oh, this person has 300K. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's popping. Yeah.
That's like easy, like in the door. You probably get backstage.
It's an asset, right? It is. You can utilize followers. You can leverage followers.
You can do something with it.
Right.
You can get free stuff, free merchandise.
Yeah, brands all the time.
Sponsorships is how like a lot of people stay not broke.
Right, sponsorship. Yeah, that's huge because endorsements and all that, deals, brand deals. Now, to your point, so we're in this economy where, creators are broke, but they're still pumping out a ton of content. They're still trying to make it on a monetary level, right? And it's expensive, like especially if it's just you. Sometimes it is cheaper, but once you start to build a team, it becomes pretty costly. And then you now have to go find dollars not only for you to eat, but for your team to eat.
And that is the hardest thing I will say ever. And that's the most stressful thing about being a content creator. Because imagine you start content like myself.
Yeah.
And my friend Salim. When you have no money, bro.
Yeah.
And then you're trying to like outsource and you have to do everything yourself.
Right, internally. And that takes a lot of your time and energy, right?
Now imagine people that go to school and they're doing content themselves.
Yeah.
And working 2-3 jobs on top of that.
To pay bills. Yeah, rent got to get paid.
Rent's due, man. Rent is due.
Yeah.
I commend anyone who's going to school and doing that. I didn't. I went to school for one day and I dropped out.
Dropped out?
Like college.
What was your major?
I was going to major in communications.
Communications, okay. So you dropped out. It seems to be paying out for you as we speak now.
Yeah, we're having a conversation right now.
Yeah, so what What is that? What was that choice to drop out? You went to school for 1 day.
Well, my mom enrolled me. I didn't like that.
Oh yeah, so it was like automatic, like you're going to college right after high school, and you're like, what the heck? No,
I was like, okay, let me consider, because you already put me in here, and then I went around and I asked like all the professors, like throughout each class. I think it was like 5 or 6 classes during that day I went, and I asked the professors, is this for me? Or like, should I continue to go to school like after each class? And they're like, honestly, I mean, yeah, you should. And then I got to all the way to the very last professor. I think he was like the computer teacher or something, like computer science.
Right.
And that teacher specifically said, you can always come back. And I took that and I ran with that.
You could always come back.
He said, if you have something that's already working for you, you might as well try that, because you can always come back. And I was like,
always come back.
Yeah.
Right,
I'll come back if I have to.
If I have to, yeah. Now, that's great that we actually talked about school, because we're still kind of on that money topic as a creator. But
yeah,
for being an 18-year-old that's coming out of high school, that's thinking about, hey, maybe I was making some videos, maybe I stream the video games I play, maybe I have this direct passion, my parents want me to enroll to school, my high school has already positioned me to go to college. What would you say to those people who are in that graduation phase that are like, should I go to college? Should I chase my dream? And that, what would you say to that?
Should I go to college? Should I chase my dream? I mean, I definitely think a lot of people don't look at like the number side of things as far as like what they're going to be making after college in that major.
Right.
I think that's something that could be very resourceful and very important, because you want to know the type of lifestyle that you're going to have to potentially live with.
Of course, right, based off the money that you're making.
Based off the money that you're making.
Okay.
Like, if you're making only $15,000 a year doing this, like, is that the type of lifestyle that you're
heading towards? Yeah, that you're willing to live. Yeah. Go ahead, actually.
Definitely consider. I feel like a lot of people get forced into going because your parents are like, yo, if you don't go to school, I'm not going to raise you. You know, I'm not going to take care of you.
Yeah, you got to go find a job and then pay your own bills or do something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like the world that we live in today. Go to college after high school.
You're getting kicked out the house if you don't go to school.
Right.
Probably 70% of the time.
Right.
And then, yeah, I mean, if school's for you, it's for you. For me, I knew in my gut that it wasn't for me, and I knew that I want to like kind of like go against the grain, because I feel like if you're just doing the same thing as everyone else, then you're bound to be in the same position as everyone else.
Yeah, that's huge. Wow. I mean, that's something big that he said. If you're doing the same thing everyone else is doing, you're bound to be in the same position everybody else is in. And I don't think most people think about that with the choices that they make.
Yeah.
Right. And this one thing I will say, find some role models, find some people you look up to, and mentors, do what they do. Right. Mentors are huge, because most of the time we fall into the crowd. Right.
Very easy. And
very easily. Most of the time we're already positioned in the crowd. So you have to find a way out the crowd by doing the things that the crowds aren't doing.
Yeah, I'm a weirdo, so it's easy for me to not do what everyone else is doing.
Right. You know? Okay, so you've always been like the one-off.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So that's something that you've always been. Right. Now, going back to making money in content, with the future of economics and everybody on social media, do you think more creators should be paid more? How do you think the creator economy should be? Like, in the perfect world for you? I
mean, it's cool that some platforms are like paying people to live stream like an hour, like an hourly rate.
Right.
Once they get accepted in the program.
Right.
I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
I think every platform should do that. Like.
Right.
Give creators the opportunity to get paid hourly.
Hourly, right. I mean, that's actually, I mean, that's questionable for me, because I was in the sales world for a long time. So pretty much the way we look at things is you got to generate X amount to make X amount, right? And what I know as far as when you get a salary, when you get an hourly rate, you're capped at that, right? So let's say I work at McDonald's and I'm flipping burgers for $20 an hour. I'm capped at $20 an hour, right? Mm-hmm. Now, that doesn't dictate how many burgers I flip. I could flip 2 burgers today and make the same amount. I could flip 100 burgers and make the same amount. Now, I believe in performance-based industries, right, where you get paid for your performance.
Yes.
And so that means if I'm doing 50 burgers a day, I should get paid what the 50 burgers are worth, because that's how much I'm generating you, right? You're paying me based off what I'm generating you. Now, when we come to the aspect of live streaming, if they start paying everybody the hourly rate, and this is what I just think personally, you can correct me or whatever way you think about it. Now, if you're a creator who is on the platform, and maybe initially you got brought on an hourly rate and it made sense for you to spend your time on the platform, it kept you on the platform because you're monetizing it.
Right.
But then you start excelling in this industry, and now the back end of this platform is making millions of dollars from you. And this is what we see in the music industry, right? Where they give you something that's sweet at first to get
upfront,
you exactly. And then they're raking in millions on the back end, right? You're not getting paid based off your performance. And I mean, sometimes it flops, right? They pay someone a huge amount and they don't get that return on investment.
Oh, yeah.
Which it could
that
go
happens all the time.
All the time, right? It could go vice versa. So, I mean, with that being said, still, what do you think as far as like if a platform were to give you X amount, they're generating X amount from you, but you're capped at this, or vice versa? Let's say you're spending all your time on this platform and it's not even enough for you to make sense for you to be on the platform, right?
It's a tricky, unethical, ethical business.
Right.
Like
entertainment,
streams, like people don't be getting a lot of money from streaming either. Like they don't get their worth all the time. I can't even say.
Right, because it's tricky because I mean,
because like, what would you do if you were the person that owned that platform? Like, how would you?
And that's where it becomes like, and that's a great question, because do these platforms feel entitled because it's their platform, it's their development? Do they feel entitled to that money?
Right.
Or should the creator feel entitled to that money because you're the one putting in that work, getting the actual engagement from the consumer?
Sure.
To generate. So it is a fine line, because if I create this beautiful ecosystem and now I allow you to come on my ecosystem and then you make money because of it, I still feel entitled to my cut, right?
Yeah, because like say you go extremely viral and you're making music on, say, Spotify. And say Spotify wasn't paying you what you thought was worth it to you.
Right.
But you're able to go on tour and do shows.
Right.
And say, I'm Spotify and I want a piece of what you got on tour, but you're not giving me that. Ooh. They could be mad at that.
Right, because you only blew up on their platform, but now you're able to utilize their platform to go make money elsewhere.
Yeah, and you're not even thinking about me, and I'm a streaming company.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's huge, because without the actual platform itself, there is no connection between the creator and consumer.
Yeah, if you weren't on my platform, then you wouldn't be eating.
Exactly. So, I mean, speak on that, actually. I mean, we're speaking on it now, but what do you believe is fair, right? Like, I go out there, I develop this amazing platform for creators to come succeed with me. I am entitled to a cut, but what percentage is fair, right? Because the sole reason you're making money is because you're on my platform, but the reason my platform's making money is because you're on my platform. So talk about that relationship. What do you think is fair? How do you think it should be? What is it now? Kind of what have you seen? Because like you said, the creators are broke, but they have millions of followers, millions of engagement. Can you speak on that?
I say, like, the creator, like, are we talking brand deals? Like where is this money coming from? We're
talking about platforms, even if we talk about the music industry, if we talk just entertainment as a whole, even from actors, right?
Actors typically be getting paid like $2,000 a show.
Right, yeah. I mean, depending. I actually just saw a crazy stat. The guy from Iron Man, his name's like Robert something. Mm-hmm. Marvel paid him $95 million for one movie. So let's listen to this concept. This one actor,
single movie.
This one movie got paid. This actor got paid $100 million.
Okay.
This one actor. So I'm assuming the budget, like that means the budget for this movie was what? No, who knows what, right? Because the production for Marvel is insane. As you know, they go all in, all out. They're backed by Disney. We all know Disney's rich, but $95 million for a movie. Now, if we go back to maybe Iron Man 1, where he was making his first scene, maybe he got paid dog. Like maybe he got paid horribly, but If you watch Marvels, I mean, for me, I think my favorite Marvel actor is Iron Man. He's funny, great character.
Sure.
Now, is he what made Marvel? Is he what makes the Avengers? Is he what, like, he could have got paid dog, but at that time his value was worth more than he's getting paid. 10 years later, 20 years later, now we see he just got paid $100 million for one movie, right?
Cheers.
So where does that go from, like you said, maybe early on you might be getting this rate for a DJ gig, but pretty soon you're selling out stadiums.
Yeah, it's like almost like the time you put into it, that like increases your value.
Right.
The longer people know you for doing something,
right,
like the more credibility you have. Like if you're a new brand, like say you create a brand and it's like the greatest quality, it's like everything, but no one knows about it. Like not even one person seeing it. Like I got this dope brand, but no one's ever like purchasing it or anything.
Right.
Then it's like, it's not a brand.
Right,
in the eyes of the people.
Of course.
And
I actually want to talk about this. This is the power of marketing, guys. So you could have a product that's completely bad, like horrible. But if you market correctly, it could be the best-selling product because people live off hype. People live off trends, right? But you can go and invest all the time, all the money, all the resources to building the best product, and it could never sell, right? Because consumer hype is a real thing, right?
1,000%.
And can you talk about that as far as even your personal brand, some of the things that you've I know you're a creator, even you have your own clothing line and you're across many different industries, right, when it comes to it.
Shout out to Girls Love Artists.
Girls Love Artists. GirlsLoveArtists.com as well.
GirlsLoveArtists.com. Appreciate that.
Yeah, GLA. Let's go.
Yes, sir.
So how is that fine line between like the quality of work that I put in between the hype I build behind my product?
I think it's 90% like work in the marketing and then like 10% whatever the product is.
Right. So wow. So you'd almost say 90% into investing into building the brand itself, not the actual product.
Reverse that.
90% building the product.
So for clothing specifically, sorry.
Let's be clothing, yeah.
For clothing, that's like 90% marketing.
Yeah, 90, because Gucci shirt is...
That's 90%.
I'm actually wearing a Gucci shirt right now. I would tell you how much it is, but I'm embarrassed to tell you guys.
I couldn't even tell that was Gucci.
Yeah, you couldn't tell.
Now I can tell.
Right, and so for example, I could have bought the same similar polo for a lot cheaper. But the branding behind it, right? I can say I got caught in that trap. Some Balenci's on right now.
Now some people can say you're flexing and you're entitled.
Right, yeah, and exactly. Or I could walk into a room and make a connection based off, and that's the big thing about watches too. If you're in the networking game, nobody cares what you drive. Well, people care about what you drive, but that could be a lot of hype.
Oh yeah.
But the thing on your wrist is actually the biggest tool when it comes into the business because no one's gonna go actually spend money they don't have on a watch.
So I need to buy a watch.
But people will spend money that they don't have on a car, on clothes, even on followers. But to go buy an expensive, that's one of those things that like you can tell right away. But back to the consumer hype thing, you would say it's 90% branding and marketing, 10% actual product.
Yeah, 10% product, 90% marketing. These brands and like different things, creators, like companies are investing in celebrity marketing.
Yeah, influencer marketing. It's actually
just throw that hat on Kim Kardashian.
Yeah,
boom. It's selling.
Game over. Yeah, I mean, I love that you're getting into the space because we're still talking about money here. Now, these creators, like I said, they're worth a lot because they have your attention and it's branding.
Sure.
Now, like you said, if I give Kim Kardashian a T-shirt, dude, my sales the next day is outrageous. So what is it worth to pay Kim Kardashian to put my it's worth a lot of money for me to pay her, right?
Okay, that depends on what platform she's on.
Right.
If she's on a podcast on YouTube, which is going to stay on there forever, as long as it doesn't get deleted,
millions of
way
dollars.
more.
Yeah, of course, rather than a story or...
Than a story post.
Right.
Story post would be less.
Right. Now,
it's 24 hours.
Right. Now, I'm actually in the marketing space, and so I'll be honest, we've seen a shift between, 10 years ago, the way we would market things is I'd get a billboard, I get a commercial. I mean, big brands would go spend $2 million, their whole budget on a Super Bowl commercial because how many eyes get to see it. Right now, what we're seeing is people are investing into podcast marketing, influencer marketing, ads on these social platforms. We're seeing a shift in that creator economy. So would you say the creators aren't going to stay broke forever? They're actually transitioning into ways to make money? Or is there still like a fine line between what you think is going to happen in the creator economy?
I don't know, but it's scary.
It's scary, right? Yeah.
It's definitely scary.
Yeah. Because you're a full-time creator, right? You don't work a job?
Yeah, I've never had like a long-term job. I've had gigs here and there. I picked up rocks.
Yeah. Just to make some money, right? As a creator, right? Because you are on social full-time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
I picked up rocks and moved rocks. Not that kind of rocks, not those kind of
Yo. Wait, we're on socials. Chill. He doesn't do drugs, y'all. Or sell them.
I've never done that.
Yeah. Who knows, actually? I'm kind of curious.
Like I actually moved like big rocks and moved them over there.
And this is during your journey of content creation?
That was a little bit before content creation.
Right.
And then like I served like for like a week, like crab.
Okay. At
not at like a professional restaurant, just like
a catering kind of thing.
Like a catering type of gig. Yeah. Once before, I swept and I mopped floors at like a church before. I made decent money with that for like a couple summers. I did that.
Okay.
But yeah, those are like the main jobs I've done.
All right, but nothing actually, just full-time content creation and
Mainly,
a couple projects here and there to just put some money in your pockets.
Yeah, sold candy. That's how I made all my money to invest in like whatever.
Candy.
Yeah, I sold candy.
Let's talk about that. I don't think I knew that. Can you tell me a little bit about
at
what age this was and?
Yeah, from like I'd say like 15 to like 15 to like 18. I would sell suckers.
Suckers, like.
Yeah.
How much were you selling? How much were you making? Like
for 50 cents. I was making like
50 cents.
2 to like 5K, I think.
2 to 5 grand a month off candy.
Selling candy.
Y'all hear this? There's no excuses. 50 cents. Your average lollipop was.
Yeah. And then I would also throw in some chips in there, Gatorade.
Right.
Just
$2,000 to $5,000 a month.
Starting with suckers though.
Right.
I just asked my mom for like $20. Could you buy me like some suckers? And then she got me.
Yeah. So your business overhead was zero. Your mom would pay for this, or did you?
Yeah. Shout out to my mom.
Yeah. Shout out to mom. So it sounds like you've always had that entrepreneur mind of like, I need to make some money, yo.
I'm constantly thinking, how to make money. Like I don't know if it's a bad thing, but like.
No, I mean in our economy, you got to learn how to make money, and sounds like you've honestly always had that skill set from a young age, and. Yeah.
I do not ever want to go broke, ever.
Right. I mean, I don't think anybody does. But speaking about going broke, I feel like it's actually a part of life.
I have been broke, yeah.
Right.
I've been broke, like, as a content creator before,
Right. Like, because we've said earlier, like, to make money online, it's not easy. It's possible, but it's not easy. Can you talk about your mindset pushing through some of those dry seasons?
Yeah, I honestly think it's mainly, like, leverage. Like, that's the one thing I've taught myself, like from like watching different podcasts and when I was younger, and just like seeing the way life works and it doesn't work in certain scenarios. Like, for example, if like there's a lot of people that are living off child support, like families, and so that's a form of leverage. You know what I'm saying? Say the lady or even like the guy is not working.
Yeah.
They get child support to fund
the lifestyle.
The lifestyle that they are not living.
And
are trying to live.
Yeah. We see that a lot here in Miami.
A lot of sugar babies.
Yeah, a lot of
sugar baby central.
Right?
Miami is sugar baby central.
The capital of sugar babies. You know.
Yeah. And so like, that's smart, bro. That's smart. Being a sugar baby is smart.
Hey, if someone's willing to pay, is that what you're trying to say? Like,
yes,
it's okay for these women to take advantage of these men that are willing to pay.
It's not dumb.
It's not. I mean, it's not dumb at all. I mean, it's very low expense, very high
if
return.
the guy is offering to pay for your lifestyle and you didn't ask, that is smart. And if you were smarter while being in that situation, I'm not saying that's a smart thing to do, but if you are doing that, you better be saving that money and not trying to buy a Birkin bag.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Not getting all the nice purses, but utilizing the time frame that you have with this situation, and
because that's only gonna last so long.
of course, right?
Because they're probably not gonna be faithful to that man.
Right. And he's probably not gonna be. Some other sugar baby's gonna come around that's better, right? So
yeah, he probably got 10 sugar babies.
Right. That's a transactional relationship, so you have to know that things could happen, right?
Things happen.
Yeah, things do happen.
Things change.
He said earlier right away, nothing's going to stay the same forever.
No.
You're not going to be hot forever. You're not going to be down forever. So you have to know how to utilize those times and optimize those times.
Yeah, you have to have the ability to adapt. You
Yeah,
got to
adapt.
be like a glass cup that's empty and you pour water in there, and whatever that water is doing in there, that's what you better be doing.
Right. Okay.
Adjusting.
Wow, that's a cool concept. Actually, I never thought about it like that. Now, during those adjustment moments, what is the mindset of like? Because we see it with creators who get canceled. We see with creators who fall off.
Yeah.
You know, and what would you say that line is of like, all right, cool, I'm doing hot right now, what you should be doing, and then hey, my content's not pumping anymore. Like, what's that mindset?
Well, I hope you got a good team around you.
Yeah.
I hope you got the right people. If you don't got a team, I hope you got the right people around you, or else you're a ticking time bomb of like just being in the streets.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Back to
of
the
course.
streets.
Right. So making sure that you have a supportive system is huge, right?
Support is everything.
Mentally and transactionally, because you're right. Sometimes there's going to be someone to give you a hand when you need it.
Yeah.
But
everyone needs a handout. Everyone needs a handout.
Yeah, at some point, someone's going to need someone to reach. And it couldn't even be on a monetary level, but sometimes even getting to that next level in your business could take a hand up from somebody.
Yeah, like you need people pushing you.
Right.
Now, you don't need everyone doing that, but you need like one. You really just need one person pushing you. Right. Honestly.
Right. So having a good support system is huge.
Because that's what I do for my friend Salim. I pushed him, and he pushed me, and I pushed him, and that's all it really took for us to get in the situation that we're in today. How many people know us, from just a friend pushing a friend.
Right. So community is and competition too. Honestly, community and competition, they go hand in hand, because if you're not pushing each other, if you're not competing in a way almost, or you're not setting these challenges or these hierarchies to achieve.
It's like you're playing basketball. That's how I relate a lot of things. I'm not really a big sports guy, but I love playing basketball. And I notice the way people play basketball, and if say you know how to play basketball, you know the basic fundamentals.
Yeah.
I relate that to life, like how you play, and it's a team sport. If you don't pass the ball and you know you can't shoot, but you're shooting the ball every single time and you know you're gonna miss,
right,
and you know you have a teammate who can shoot the ball,
right,
like you're very selfish and like you're never gonna like
succeed almost.
You're less likely to succeed in like the business that you're doing with your friends or
partners. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But if you're a great shooter and you know how to shoot the ball, you don't always got to pass it, but just you need to know how to communicate as that point guard position.
Right. You know I'm going to shoot when I come down this right because I got the best opportunity to score, right? Or what are you saying here?
Yeah, if you're the sixth man, you got to know how to come off bench. You know what I'm saying?
And provide.
Provide that value.
Right.
If you're not always like that, that's how I look at myself, like a sixth man, and I'm always ready to provide that value in whatever part. I'm willing to be in front. I'm willing to be behind, on the side, like wherever I got to be, that's where I'll be. Like I have zero ego.
No, yeah, I've noticed that about you. Very humble guy. Yeah. Actually, I credit that to you.
Appreciate that.
You almost in aware of like, I haven't made it yet, and I'm gonna do everything I can to make it. But once I'm there, it's gonna be. It's not like in your face, right?
I can't shove like what I'm doing for you in your face. Like
yeah, it's just not you as a person.
I just have to push myself away from you if you don't see what I'm doing for you, or like
right. Like, and you talked about that earlier. Like, I think the biggest thing you were saying even before we got on this thing is, it's the little things.
Yeah.
Right, and that's even on a humble level. Like, you know what you're doing, you know kind of where you're going, but for you, it's the little things. It's not, you're not going to make it this big thing in your face, like, you know.
Just a simple checkup could mean everything to
right.
someone.
Right.
Like, how are you doing?
Right.
From somebody who means a lot to you that you may not have even realized meant everything to you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
A simple, hey, you're doing great, if you genuinely believe that, or you could do this a little bit better. A little constructive criticism could do a lot too.
Yeah, I mean, especially from someone you love, because sometimes it hurts, but the hurt moves you in a way that you understand is coming from a real place.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that you said that. Now, speaking about relationships, that's I mean, Cousin Jay as a creator, as a brand, you have leverage to create these relationships that most people don't. But when you talk about genuine relationships, that could be huge, right?
Yeah,
because
I agree.
you meet a lot of strangers, and a lot of, like you said, like you had a guy DM you and say, "Hey, I'll do this work for free," right? Maybe that's not like Martin. I've met Martin. I've had the pleasure, and he's actually a genuine, really good dude, and he's a good person to have around. But where does it come to a fine line of like, maybe not everybody's in the best interest for you, or
no matter what, everyone has that little bit of selfishness in them.
Of course,
no matter
that's
what.
just
like,
life.
Like, even if they don't realize it, like, you're doing it for yourself.
Yeah. I mean, everybody has that intent of getting somewhere.
Everyone needs to get somewhere.
Right.
But it's about like going about it in a
of course
right matter. But what is right?
What is right? I have an answer for that in my own head, but really quick, I want to know your answer.
Right. I mean, it's just about communicating, I think. Like if you right. That's the thing. Right is so subjective. Just like what is pretty, like
right. It could be completely different girl to me and you, right?
Like what's a handsome man? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Like that's
subjective.
And my dilemma or my thought of it is right is intentions. The way I judge people is based off your intention, and sometimes you can't always catch somebody's intention, but everybody always has an intention, right? And so, like you said right away, everybody's intention is selfish, and it could be in a lot of ways for some people, and in some ways it could be like, but there's always an inner intent for someone to get something out of something.
Yeah.
But the way I look at something is this action that someone did to me or for me, was it in good intent or was it in ill intent, right?
Yeah, if it's ill, yeah. That's like, come on, man.
Right. And you can usually feel that. That's why I really believe in energy, because you can usually feel ill intent. You can usually look someone in the eye and say, all right, you're doing too much right now.
Sure.
You know? How have you managed to gauge people's intentions or authenticity, people being authentic with you?
I'll say it's with a girl, that's definitely hard if you really like them.
Right.
If you develop a liking towards them, because as is, I'm like already standoffish, like inside my head.
Right.
Like knowing not to like give too much.
Right. Or knowing that people could be coming for something that's...
people have ulterior motives.
Right.
Like I've run into situations where bad things could have really happened. Like a girl almost tried to kill me. Like I ended up...
Yo, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Hold up. You almost died. A girl almost killed Cousin Jay.
Yeah.
Yo, guys, this is mind blowing to me. Yo,
I got set up before.
Oh wait, was this out in LA?
A girl in Miami, she flew to LA. She was like stalking me, man. I had a stalker.
Yo,
a consensual.
She came from Miami.
She came from Miami.
Yeah,
it was a consensual stalker, guys.
Is that something you want to get into really quick?
Hey, man, be careful, y'all. I mean, that one, I kind of seen that coming, kind of. Not the killing.
But she almost killed you. You kind of knew her intentions were ill.
I knew her intentions were ill, but I chose to stay around.
Right.
Because I was comfortable being around her. And if you're comfortable being around something that's not good for you, I think you should kind of shy away from that.
And a lot of times we are in that, we are comfortable with something that we know is not good for us, right? That's something that...
But then sometimes you don't know if it's something that's not good for you.
Right. This is true. Sometimes you're deceived.
Yeah, but this situation, if you're dealing with someone who's a pathological liar, yeah.
Liars. That's like the biggest sign. Usually, that's like the number one thing.
But I'm saying like the type of lie where they saying that you see this is black, and underneath you got the little lights underneath it. It's green. The type of person that will say this is pink.
Okay, this is pink. Okay.
Yeah.
And you're like looking at them, and they're like, believe that's pink. They're trying to really convince you that that's pink.
No, I would literally look at her and be like, you're literally gonna tell me this is pink. You know what I'm saying?
She'd be like, yeah. She would tell you that.
Yeah, this is pink.
And you just like, at what point?
No, I wasn't believing it. I'm just like,
you're going with the flow.
I'm like, yo, this is crazy. I've never met a liar before. Like this is good. It was entertaining.
Okay, yeah, it is a little entertaining, especially when you're like looking at her like, there's absolutely no way you can convince me, but you're trying to convince me that this is pink.
Tell me what color that is, or tell me what color that is.
Blue.
No, that's red. That's red.
I'm pretty sure this is blue. I mean, we're looking at it together.
No, that's red.
And so you're saying she would really just like,
is this a plant?
Yeah, I mean, dude, that looks like a plant to me.
No, this is a turtle.
No, a turtle. Like, she would say it would be that outrageous?
Like, that outrageous. But, like, she would believe her lies. And that was, like, so interesting to me.
Yeah, so you kind of fed into it for a little bit. I mean, just a little fun at the end of the day.
Yeah, it definitely made the sex better.
Oh, okay, so this is when you're bagging. So, yeah, that toxic thing, you're like, yeah, I feel it. Okay, so so speaking about this, it sounds like sex almost got you killed. Y'all hear this right away. First, he was from Miami. Y'all never trust a girl from Miami. 2, he was having sex with her. He was fucking her. And she almost killed him. Like,
yeah, man.
That's actually interesting. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of more guys in situations like this.
Stay away from Medusa.
Medusas, yeah.
She'll seduce you.
Wow. So, what do you do now to manage your relationships on a personal level? Like, let's remove really the creator and business aspect of it, but it's hard to have genuine friends as you scale as a creator.
No, I'm constantly testing people in different ways. Like, it's different. You know, I'm not gonna reveal all my secrets the way I test people.
You can't. Wait. You just keep them to yourself. But
I'll keep it to myself. But I test people.
Okay, that's huge, because that almost plays into your creative factor of like you're always thinking, right? You're always making. You gotta always check, right? Because sometimes if you don't, you could fall so deep in that it's hard to pull out. But if you're testing people, you know right away before it gets to that deep level.
Yeah, before it gets to that level of like, okay,
it hurt. Right, because you see it coming, or you stop it before you get stabbed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's
like you have to test people, especially like say you have a girlfriend.
Yeah,
you should always be testing her.
Right. Okay, then maybe you can give us some things. How do you test your girls, or how could someone test their girlfriend? Right. Actually, I've seen you go on his YouTube channel. Actually, we've seen him test somebody's girlfriend. I remember this.
Yeah,
I remember this, and no, she was freaking out because can you explain that story?
Which scenario are you talking about?
It was Fort Lauderdale. You had that guy. Blind date, and he had a girlfriend, I believe.
But I didn't know he had a girlfriend. So in that scenario, I was trying to help out a fan. I tried. This was spring break. Last spring break. I tried setting this guy up with 7 or like 8 different girls.
Yeah.
Setting them up on a blind date with them because he told me that he just got broken up with, and that really hurt me. I was like, this dude, he's a supporter of me. I'm a supporter of him because he's a supporter of me.
Yeah.
Give him benefit of the doubt because, I mean, I'm not going to look at you as a liar if you're telling me something like off rip.
So like an off rip. Like you're not going to, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt.
Yes. So find out next day once I set him up on the date. Actually, right before the date happened, I found out because I posted him on my story and I said, I'm about to help this guy out.
Yeah.
And he was like, just posted up like some girls or something. And his ex-girlfriend now hit me up randomly on Snapchat. I seen it pop up saying like, hey, this is my boyfriend, ex-boyfriend as of now because
of that picture
that picture of him saying that he's pretty much single, you know what I'm saying? Right. And I was like, yo, this is kidding. And then I started texting her. I was like, prove to me that like this is your boyfriend or maybe current boyfriend. But I think she might have sent pictures of her with him, so like I knew off rip. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That they were together, yeah.
I was like, say less.
Yeah.
So then next day comes by, I ask him like, do you have a girlfriend, bro? And he's like, nah, he stands on it. And so, I mean, it came out that he was a liar, you know what I'm saying? But
yeah, you guys went through with the content.
We went through with the content, set him up, and it went well. It was amazing.
Yeah.
All him and his friends had a blast.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, he just got roasted because he lied to me.
Yeah, for sure. For someone who stuck their neck out for him, right? And
yeah, and it's like, you can do so much for someone, and then they can just completely
deceive you. Yeah.
And I had like only pure intentions, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
That really.
I remember the build up, like, yo, we're sitting up a blind date. My guy, he got heartbroken. Like, I kind of remember that. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it made your content so much more engaging because at the end you find out he was lying.
Plot twist.
Like, it was such a plot twist because you could tell Cousin Jay was really like, yo, my boy, like, you were talking to these girls like, yo, we gotta get this thing going, right?
I was so serious.
Man, you were raising up the girls for him, right? I remember this. So yeah, like that, back to that authenticity, like that goes into
man. Like he looked me dead in my eyes, like it's 4K. It's like
right
the
on
footage
camera.
The footage is there. He's like, yeah, man, like he's literally looking me eye to eye like this, and he said, yeah. I asked him off camera, on camera, off camera, on camera, off camera, on camera, off camera, on camera, off camera, on camera,
everywhere.
Off camera,
our editor's
on
going
camera,
crazy.
Off camera, on camera, off camera, on camera,
the AI is glitching.
On camera,
hey.
off camera, on camera, off camera. No, seriously, I asked him just to see.
Yeah.
And he told me that I do not have a girlfriend, and he did. And I mean, yeah, you see the comments, they roasted him.
Yeah, they went crazy. Yeah.
Like back home, like wherever he's from, like
he's done for it. He's always seen as a liar.
But at the same time, girls like players too, so he's probably still winning a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, he got a special feature, a private video, exclusive video directed towards him by Cousin Jay himself. So I mean,
that's hard to do.
The
clout, got what he wanted.
Yeah, the clout. Hey, he doesn't even do that for brands. Yeah, he gave this guy, a really nice promo. So I mean, shout out to him. Sometimes lying gets you in positions, but the content was really engaging. So I mean, it was a win-win for both of you guys because that plot twist was like kind of crazy.
That was, and see, that's the thing. No matter what your failures, there's still always good that comes with
it. Yeah,
anything that's bad that happens to you.
Yeah, right.
I consider that bad happening to me. That he lied to me.
Right.
But
I'm telling you, as a consumer that watched that video. Dude, it was the best thing that could have happened for that video because I'm looking at it like, what's going on? And you guys did such a good job of like, he didn't know that you guys were texting. Like, I think you guys were at the house, you and Martin or whatever. You guys were like, dang, like.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, that was
Xavier.
Yeah, Xavier, right. That was good.
That one.
Yeah, it was great content.
And Martin, both of them.
Yeah. Spring break, you guys were going crazy.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, it was a good time. Yeah, I mean, dude, that was a lot of info into Cousin Jay. I think we're actually going to wrap up here now. It's been like, 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, let's wrap up. Maybe we'll do this again. Maybe we don't. Maybe this goes somewhere. Maybe it doesn't. But I think for improvising, that was amazing. And honestly, this could be like part of your documentary, like the first podcast. Or it's not your first podcast. I've seen you actually film a podcast with
fourth one.
Fourth. This is actually my first time on a podcast.
Oh, really?
Yeah, first time ever.
Oh, you're like that?
Yeah. This is actually, I got access to the space. I got access to the space today, but maybe you guys will see the background a lot more. But yeah, guys, we'll catch you guys maybe on a future video.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Hey, thanks for having me, Daniel.
Yeah.
Any final words you want to tell the people? Any motivation?
I like Cousin Jay. What he said.
Pause.
We'll pause. I like what Cousin Jay said.
No Diddy.
No, we're gonna cut that part out for sure. I like what Cousin Jay said. Just start, guys. Like I said, today was the first. Like we were kind of messing around. Like I had access to the studio earlier. I was like, Cousin Jay, come by. Like we'll mess around.
Yeah.
Just start. Why not?
1000%.
Yeah. So that. What about you?
Easy.
Anything else?
You got it. Hey, if you want to run this shit, you can run it. You got it.
We'll see, man. I think we a lot more like. We'll check it out. Let's see how it is. But any last words for
Last words for me, I'll say, stay away from liars.
Yeah, oh yeah. Stay away from liars. One could kill you. Another one could hurt your brand.
It could ruin your life. Lying will ruin your life. Kevin Hart said it best.
Oh yeah.
Lying will ruin your life.
He's like my ex-girl. He's like my girl. He caught me. Yeah.
No, it will.
Yeah.
It will ruin your life.
Stay away from liars. Good advice. All right, guys, keep pushing. Stay away from liars. As you guys got to hear, Cousin Jay, Daniel Mwangi, wrapping it up right here. Boom. All right, press the button. He's like, he wasn't even recording.
I'll press the button.
Okay, what if you weren't even recording this whole time?